Good evening, Super Metroid fans. Good evening, speed running fans. We are coming at you live from the beautiful Hilton Hotel in Herndon, Virginia, for this final matchup of group play in the SMR 2024 SGLIVE in-person tournament. AceZer on your left, Zeb316 on your right. This is, as I mentioned, the final group stage matches. Semifinals already set. Unfortunately, neither one of our two competitors does still have a chance to make it into the semifinals, but we're going to get an excellent race from two top-tier runners. The flag about to be dropped here. The runners readying up to walk you through the action. I am Professor School, and I'm joined with you in the commentary booth.
By AnodDZ100.
By AnodDZ100.
What's up?
What's up? Glad to have you on commentary. How you doing this evening?
I'm doing well. I don't run the game, but over the last few years of coming out to SGL, I've kind of been associated with the Super Metroid community, taking them out to find food almost every night. So I might know enough about the game to commentate, but this is why Professor School's here to make sure I don't say anything horribly wrong.
We are going to get you through it. We're going to get Anod through it. It's going to be a blast, and we just dropped the gate. Let's go. AceZer on your left, Zeb316 on your right. This is Super Metroid Randomizer action, major minor item split, area randomization. Bosses are mysteries. You could have 4 Ridleys, you could have 4 Fantoons, you could have 4 Snoozer Crades, or 4 Suitless Dragons. We're just going to have to wait and see what these runners encounter on these seeds. And you know what? To your point earlier, Anod, I don't think any of us really run Super Metroid. I think Super Metroid runs us. Okay, AceZer with a huge shout out to the old no moonwalk folks. So no moonfall there on the left side. That's A-okay.
Yeah, some players grew up with not using Moonwalk, and it would be too much to screw up their muscle memory to learn how to do all that stuff, and that's totally okay.
I actually invented Moonwalk in 1994 when the game came out, but I didn't want to sort of break things too badly, so I sat on it until other folks discovered it, like buried in the game code.
Yeah, that checks out.
That's actually why they call me Prof.
That was your doctorate?
It was. I had a doctorate in Super Metroid Tech. So this is kind of an interesting start here. So these runners having speed, frankly speaking, from my perspective, pretty annoying. You've got speed and no high jump, which is demonstrably the worst movement set. We'll see whether or not these runners will get high jump anytime soon. But it is quite challenging, and I will say that there's maybe not one of the major categories, slightly more obscure, but run by enough folks, is low % speed over on the vanilla side of Super Metroid. It doesn't prepare you for everything, but having experience with speed and no high jump is critical and is difficult. For anyone who's played this, speed alone, movement just gets funny. If you look at some of those acceleration values, it doesn't work the way you think it would, folks. So if you think speed's a great item, it absolutely is, but using it for the entire length of the game without high jump is painful.
Yeah, we've definitely seen some more common strats just get messed up again. You have that muscle memory built up. Normally you have both of those items, but you try to climb Bubble Mountain, you just forget how to do it because your items are wrong.
100%. Let's see if Zeb can hit this blue strat. Very nicely done. So both runners, Zeb in particular, I'm sure, very happy to be seeing those early power bombs. What that is going to allow them to do is check this portal early, this Retro Burn portal, which is really difficult to get back to. A little bit disappointing, I'm sure, to find redfish at the top. I had a seed like this earlier. You can now with the save station that Zeb and Ace are taking at the top. You can immediately get down here, and this is actually really interesting because the runners don't have supers yet, and if they can spit out in a place like Red Tower, really want to have super missiles or a top of business center, for example, Upper Norfair. They don't get super missiles. Both of them are going to check. Zeb is going to pick up those missiles, be up to 15 now. And he has a couple options now going forward, right? So he is going to go down to that Main Street portal. That's going to give him 1 out. And then potentially, if that's a bad portal, like Suitless or something like that, or zero tank hell run situation, he could also potentially go all the way over to the map station portal, that bottom right area of this West Meridia section, and potentially have another bailout, probably looking for like a green Bryn, red Bryn sort of situation. If not, we'll see the runners reset and then go all the way back up through Criteria. All right, here we go. First transition. Ace there just a little bit ahead of Zeb, opting not to pick up those missiles, and that's exactly what I was talking about. So East Meridia, not great Suitless, not great in a lot of early game situations, but potentially good knowledge in the future for these runners to have. Okay, and no need to take this save down here because they will just reset all the way back up to the top. Now, Zeb316, or what I like to call him now, 100 Missile Zeb, after this tournament, will... ooh, boy, that is painful. That is about a 2-minute time loss if Ace decides to go back all the way to check the map station portal, which he probably wants to. I'm exaggerating. It's probably only about a minute if you're not picking up the item. It's just going to leave it behind. So, yeah, I mean, I understand why he wants to bail on that. I don't know what the right decision is in that case, but it is going to put him squarely behind the 8 ball to start. Zeb finding top of red tower. But we'll see what kind of divergence this gives. I mean, being able to clear all 4 criteria portals could potentially play into Ace's favor, depending on what he stumbles into. If he gets an early charge, for example, and 100 Missile Zeb is forced to sort of struggle through another low ammo seed and doesn't return to criteria, this could potentially work out very well for Ace. We'll just have to wait and see what he finds.
Zeb finding where Turian is.
Yeah, really huge piece of information there, Anod. Being able to know where Turian is early, depending on how the routing works out, could be very important here for Zeb.
And we get our first super missiles under Old Mother Brain.
All right, so Zeb checking the back, still looking for those supers.
The worst supers up there,
Yep.
the right side.
Yeah, so that might encourage. Oh, and the screw
With
might.
the screw tag?
Yeah, with screw and knowing that there's supers there, we might very well expect Zeb to go through here. Probably check bombs first, and then potentially return to red tower. The way that things loop around clockwise. And interestingly enough, we're going to have both of these runners converge at this spot. I think this is probably kind of worst case scenario for Ace because he's just not going to have that portal knowledge that Zeb did from that map station immediately. It depends on how he decides to play this.
For our troubles, we find the spring ball.
Did I misspeak? Is this actually best case scenario here for Ace? Because he's gonna find the portals at the top of red tower. Yeah. Yeah. All right, well, we're just gonna have to wait and see. But it is still a time loss, just straight up any way you cut it. So Zeb just a little bit ahead here.
And Zeb is going to go to Gauntlet. Probably pick up those supers, figure out what the front item is.
Yeah, I mean, I think you just have to in this situation. And you don't want to go down red tower without supers, for sure. And you don't want to go right and find something else that, requires supers again, upper Norfair or something like that.
Yeah, those first pair of super missiles are super important. And of course, you're always thinking, what do I got to do to fight Surprise Ridley? Double jump in the front of Gauntlet. And A is going to be figuring out our Turian here shortly.
Yeah, and there we go. Ace finding their Turian. Nicely done. Yeah, and with those supers and with the routing going sort of clockwise around there, Zeb opting to go back down red tower here. Still 0 tanks here. We'll see if either one of these runners decide to get a little bit exciting and go down for a 0 tank X-ray. It's a little bit easier because you don't need to do the final deboost with double jump. You can actually bridge that gap entirely on that final deboost. The save, that gives me an indication that this is what Zeb is doing, yep.
So this could potentially be huge if that's a item that Ace decides to put off, because X-ray is not a great item to go to, ever.
Interesting. Yeah, so we'll see a normal setup here. Zeb will use these waivers, only doing 10 damage instead of the 60 that those spikes do. And here he should be able to run and just use double jump. Yeah, very nicely done. That is one of the powers that double jump offers you. Zeb is going to need to be careful on the way back, though, depending on what this is. Yeah, now he really, really wants to keep this, and this is something that Ace is just not going to get this for, I'm assuming, for a while, but we'll just have to wait and see. This is going to be a little slow because Zeb is going to need to wait here. Oh, is he just going for it? Oh boy. That's right, with double jump. Oh, you can make it all the way across. Very nicely done.
Yeah, double jump, one of the items they added in the dash randomizer. Some people love it, some people hate it. I think more people hate it, but certainly does come in clutch in these low percent situations.
And I like this Ace saving this portal for the end, which is really nice because that's sort of a, that's not a one-way trip necessarily, but it's much, much more difficult to get up there without high jump. We use that speed to charge across here. Let's see what this item is. Still just the one super pack. And we know Green Bryn is here as well, so this could just be a portal check and then going back for Green Bryn. Let's see what Ace decides to do after getting this knowledge. Yeah, and that you can see the reaction. And this is really tricky because it's sort of, you know, when you when you see, oh boy, that's really frustrating. When you see a left side of Business Center there, or left side of Upper North Fair, it's one of those things, when you see it, you want to do it, especially you have supers, you have 2 item checks that you can do there. But now you find this sort of string of things, and the thing that you don't want to leave behind is Green Bryn. That's the thing you absolutely want to be able to do in this situation. And so you could see that visible frustration from Ace. But we'll make these item checks, and we'll find their way all the way back to Green Bryn eventually. Looks like more or less the same route from both of our runners here. Of course, the big difference being that gravity. All right, let's see what we have here. First major check down here. Second E-tank. Never hurts to have a little bit more flexibility early game, especially if you get dumped out from, let's say, top of Green Bryn into Upper North Fair.
And again, seeing those super missiles are great. If I was running, then my concern would be, what do I need to do to fight Ridley at any given situation? And you need quite a number of super missiles unless you get a good beam combo going.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, 25 to 30 is what you're going to need. Having Screw early does make you think about some Ridley fights suitless, where you could manip Ridley a little bit, avoid some damage. Similar to Dragon, you can actually, once you have gravity, use that Screw attack to go through the center of Dragon. So it can be useful in a lot of these more difficult boss fight situations. Boy, that's just exactly what you don't want. Ace, unfortunately, getting stuck under that tripper. Yeah, and that's the issue with speed right there. You saw Ace, they came through that door with a little bit of run speed, and unfortunately, that kind of run speed is not what you want. It makes you not go high enough to be able to grab that. Oh, and we're getting a reset, so does not want to keep that X-ray. Prefers the health in this situation instead. I expect Zeb. Zeb didn't save, actually, right? I don't think Zeb saved, so I don't think there's a reset option here. Anyone? Yeah, and you just simply don't do the right side Bubble Mountain Hell runs here. You've got Green Bryn as an option. That is absolutely what you do here. Okay, Ace opting to do this Croc. We'll see what Zeb opts for. You leave Croc behind here. You go straight for Green Bryn. There are ways to get back to this Croc if you feel like it's necessary, but I think you just do it here or you don't. Yeah, and both runners deciding to do it. That's one Croc down. Unfortunately, going to see two Slaughters and two Crocs side by side. What did Croc ever do? That's what I want to ask. Just a little bit tight here. Really don't want to miss that last jump. Nicely done by Ace. They were waiting, as you saw, for that acid level to be just a little bit lower.
But we got a reserve tank, so we're totally fine. No issue at all.
Zeb. Oh gosh. Okay. Nicely executed there. It was probably always going to be okay with double jump, but it always makes you clench a little. One missed jump into that acid, and you're probably not surviving that. But that's just the level these runners are playing at. Nicely done. Great execution. Zeb with double jump, going to be able to go across here probably a little bit more easily. Let's see if he opts to. All right, here we go. Going to get a look at this other major here from Ace. What are they going to find?
Energy tank. And we're not going to take it.
Interesting, interesting.
Too much time to go back out a Croc.
I don't know. I mean, amount of time to come back out and the potential role that that tank could play. Maybe you're making a gamble that Green Bryn is just going to have a sufficient amount in there. But Bubble Mountain's still wide open, and if the answer's there, that tank in reserve that Ace will not have potentially could be a problem for them. We'll just have to see how that goes. Oh, and the super missile, something else that Ace was leaving behind there. So Zeb spending the extra time, but is definitely going to be taking some rewards out. Going to be 3+1. Nice use of that double jump again. We can see the power of just a single space jump here from how these runners are demonstrating. Zeb doing a really nice job in multiple places already across this run. Ooh, lovely spring ball across the moat. Staying dry, high and dry for Ace. Nicely done. Yeah, and I like the full farm up there from Zeb, being prepared for any situation. Again, I do expect Green Bryn from both of our runners. Fortunately, they do have speed. They will be able to full clear this Green Bryn area. Oh, wait a minute. Now, is this just a portal check, or is Zeb actually leaving Green Bryn behind for now? Is that right? Folks, the people here live in the commentary room have done an excellent job at catching the commentary team sleeping. Correctly pointed out that Zeb never actually saw the Green Bryn portal. Fortunately, I don't have chat open, so I can't see everyone screaming at me in there, but that's quite all right. And actually, I prefer it that way.
Facts.
Oh, Ace, that was sick. Little bouncing spring ball. Lovely stuff there. Alrighty. Well, we're going to see what Green Bryn actually has and if that's going to really make the difference here for Ace. Fell behind a little early, did not get that gravity, but could potentially score some big movement items. High jump still outstanding. Of course, Varia. Ice. Charge. Just E-Tank so far for Zeb. Nice super missile pack, though. Should be a pretty quick farm. Oh, actually Zeb going down to wave. Opting to do this first and then come back around. He does have a Crystal Flash, so this is actually a pretty safe play. Oop, just a little hiccup there for Ace. There you go, there's that sound of that gate opening, nicely done. Zeb falling down there, double jump, big help there getting back up. That could be really bad news on this health situation.
And another E-Tank for Ace.
Zeb looks absolutely thrilled about finding bombs there at wave. We got like a 2-second eyebrow raise. There's that Crystal Flash, nicely executed, no problems for Zeb. Ooh, boy, Ace coming just a little closer, and we get a good hearty laugh from him, from them as well, knowing that that they were really close to visiting that Decora. This is not free the Decora RTA. This is Super Metroid Randomizer. Freeing the Decora not required or recommended.
And we find those high jump boots.
Ace, they are really flirting with disaster here. Just a couple half tiles here or there. Not falling down into that Edekun's pit, not visiting that Decora.
Zeb finding charge beam at speed booster.
$35.20 and charge. Still would really like to find a beam. Still not feeling comfortable about that Ridley fight quite yet. All right. Just an E-Tank from Ace. So the high jump boots are very nice paired with that speed booster, and could add a lot of movement time. But we'll just have to see how this routing works. I mean, you could see some interesting things, for example, as the top of Green Bryn goes back into Bubble Mountain.
Yeah, and as we were talking about earlier, now that you have your high jump and your speed booster, your movement's going to feel a little more natural in what you're used to navigating Super Metroid.
Absolutely. Here's that single chamber portal check. Kraid. Oh boy. Zeb does not seem very happy about that. This is you know, even with 25 supers, if you were to find them, oh boy,
Yeah, if it's a Ridley,
you really want to see supers here. No, I think it's 4+1, 2 reserve tanks, 1 reserve tank. I think it's just
one.
It's just 4+1. Yeah. Just not enough. 30-25 gets you in a reasonably comfortable position, but I think even on 4+1, you really just want 30 supers. So Zeb is just going to be taking a 75% chance here. All right, here we go. Hold on to your butts, folks.
First boss?
Okay.
Great.
Screen goes dark like that. It's either Kraid or Dragon, so once that screen went dark, Zeb knew that he was A-okay. I think Zeb still does the charge shot for super fight here. I believe that's the style. Oh boy, mouth not quite getting open enough. So we are going to be taking Kraid to the old prom today. Cleaning it up nicely though. Not a huge time loss.
Short-lived dance.
All right, so we're going to see what decision Ace makes here with respect to these hell runs. They have the option potentially to be a little bit more aggressive and skip some of these. The tanks are pretty good with speed and high jump. Screw, the movement is going to feel pretty good. A little bit nicer to have double jump in some of these situations, especially without gravity. Gravity makes it really nice. You fall into that acid, you get out of it really quick. And meanwhile, on the right side of our screen,
Various suit.
there it is, Anod. We've got the Various suit. So with both suits and charge and a way through Batoon, that really puts Zeb in a very, very good situation. It's just going to be worrying about ammo again. Probably will continue to search behind bosses for a better beam. But I suspect that Zeb is going to commit to ammo here. Question is, how does Zeb route this now? We still have not seen Wreck Chip. Or have we? No Wreck Chip? Yeah. Yeah, it's got to be stuck between Lower Norfair and Pre-Aqueduct. Oh, that's right. Getting help from all over, folks. We're getting corrected by chat. We're getting corrected here by the very kind folks in the room with us. We got Gestro leaning over and correcting my map tracking. Couldn't do it without them. It's a whole team effort here. We got folks behind the scene working hard. We got folks right on camera working even harder than the commentators, actually.
He's picking up his charge beam out of speed.
Yeah, Ace will be very happy not to leave that charge beam behind. Yeah, I expect to see Zeb play very aggressively from this point on. Probably will not make the majority of checks or not even see much of Green Bryn just because of the way that this routing worked out. Really interesting. Having not seen that Green Bryn originally, gone in for some of those early Bubble Mountain hell runs, and now finds himself squarely with both suits and in an ammo go mode. Oh, nice little super snipe there on Batoon. Waiting, patiently waiting. There it is, nicely done.
Ace cleaning up his upper Norfair, picking up his bomb out of the wave beam location. Zeb finding Plasma, so we've got Plasma in charge. And he has X-ray, which means if we find Dragon, we can give him the old microwave treatment.
Nothing better at 9 p.m. on a Friday night than fried shrimp, if you ask me. Actually, that's entirely false. I'm a vegetarian, folks. No fried shrimp for me. You can have it all to yourself. Thank you very much. Oh, there we go. Ace finding their Kraid's lair. Looks like Ridley. Yep. That plasma really solves a lot of problems for Zeb. I mean, really, you don't need an ammo hunt at this point. So we will not be seeing 100 missile Zeb on this seed, sadly. For all of you 100 missile Zeb stands out there. Oh, getting stuck in a little moonfall there, or moonwalk, grabbed by Ridley. Oh boy. No big deal though, plenty of tanks and Varia.
Ace almost on his way to the boss. Remember that it's surprise bosses and we don't know what it is. Decided to go back and take that safety save. Of course, we know that it is Kraid back there, so even with one E-tank, it shouldn't be too much of an issue. But he doesn't know that it's not Ridley, so taking that save is a wise plan.
All right, and that's a dead Ridley. Goodbye, Pelican. And you see Ace, yeah, missiling this door, just preparing for a potential Ridley. Want to keep those 30 supers up. Just get that little nod of approval. I know that nod that Ace just put into that camera very well. That's the, okay, I was prepared, but it's just Kraid, no big deal. Yeah, things are going to go very quickly here for Zeb now. Charge Plasma, both suits. Doesn't have the high jump, but still has the benefit of that speed, and that double jump has been paying dividends for Zeb the entire seed. Really, really taking great use of that. Little head shake of frustration there. You know that one too. Looking for something better. You keep getting these E-tanks. Where are these items? Where are these suits? All right, so let's take a look at this routing here for Zeb. Going to be coming back into Red Tower here. We'll probably check the rest of these portals that he did not see previously. We'll finally find Green Bryn, but really won't be doing any checks. At this point, probably has not quite sussed it out, but should be able to use these Green Bryn portals to find the back of Lower Norfair. We'll be able to do it very easily at the top of this Green Bryn here, back to back. Yeah, just going to be checking the majors that are in the same room is my assumption. And at this point, getting up to 30 supers is still nice. Can help speed up those Ridley fights. These supers won't save time on Mother Brain, already at 450 charge damage, but they will continue to save damage on Ridley. They do 600 apiece, double damage for those supers on Ridley. Very sad, no Decora visits today from either one of our runners.
Not with that attitude.
Yeah, and there you go. So if it's not in the same room, Zeb's not checking it. Makes perfect sense. Ace does find their Varia, but I don't know. We're just going to have to see how this routing works out. It feels like Zeb is just squarely in control now. Yeah, and there you go. There's that top of Green Bryn, so we'll see a back-to-back lower Norfair. Well, does he check the frontier? I'm losing track of what Zeb's map knowledge is at this point. Does he know? Has he eliminated all the portals? He should know that wrecked ship is between Meridia and lower Norfair. Just needs to prepare for that reverse acid dive properly. See this very aggressive play style from Zeb, not checking ice. Depending on what the boss is here, probably won't check behind the boss either. I expect Zeb to continue very, very aggressively here with Charge Plasma and both suits, just simply not looking for, you know, all of the time that he potentially would spend, 15 seconds on Fire Fleas, 15, 20 seconds on behind a boss check. If it nets ice, could save 40 seconds in Metroid rooms, but the odds are he's going to be running into an E-Tank. So this is right in the line of the very aggressive play that Zeb likes. Yeah, you see Zeb able to dip down into that acid with that gravity. It's going to make things a lot easier. Ace, they're just going to be having a tougher time, unfortunately. Way more tanks, so it's going to be a little bit safer despite that. Yeah, and here's another Ridley. A little bit slower, only 11 supers. We'll see how many Zeb decides to use. And now we'll get this Fire Fleece check. Ace going to be checking it. Zeb decided to leave this one behind. Of course, Ace still looking for that gravity suit. Not interested in the tank. Not quite getting that Ridley manip there. You want to break spin above the door. There you go, and behind Ridley. Turn that Pelican around. Nicely done. Oh, getting stuck in another moonwalk there. Surviving the fight's not going to be the issue, but you want to try to keep your health up if your plan is to do this reverse acid dive here. You don't want to wind up back in that Key Hunter stairs with 60 health.
Yeah, even with both suits, those Key Hunters will do a good chunk of damage.
Okay, so Zeb saving those supers for this red phase. Ridley's got to be really close now. Not quite. There we go. Now this might be for an E-Tank, just to make things a little easier for reverse acid dive. Yeah.
It's kind of like an E-Tank.
Little trollish reserve tank, and just a little smile from Zeb seeing the reserve tank there. Pretty sure he was looking for spiking an E-Tank for reverse acid dive. Yeah, and so he's just going to farm up health here, and that's exactly what that's for. Should be a much faster fight here for Ace. 28 supers. Despite not having the charge plasma. Quickly into that red phase, so a much faster fight here. Of course, the difference is Zeb was coming off a previous Ridley fight, so these back-to-back Ridley fights can be really demanding as far as the resources go. Should be all there. Cooked Pelican. Oh, of course, you get the little troll fly away. But nice recovery there from Ace. Plenty of health now. With double jump, with both suits, Zeb's going to be in really good shape for this reverse acid dive.
He's also seeing that reserve tank and saying, no thank you.
Wham bam, no thank you, ma'am. No reserve tank for me. We had 4 in the last seed that was broadcast on this stream. The loser in that race, none other than your own Professor School, at least getting the full set of reserve tanks. You gotta take the small victories in life, folks. That's what my mama always taught me. I called my wife after the race. She said, how'd it go? I said, I lost. She said, did you get all 4 reserve tanks? I said, you dang right I did. She said, well, then you're really the winner today, aren't you, babe? Yeah, Miss Prof really lifted me up after that one. Unfortunately, no reserve tanks here for Ace today. Hogging them all for myself. All right, so the only question is, what side of wrecked ship will this be? Put your guesses in chat, front or back, folks.
I'm gonna go with back.
Double jump continues to pay dividends in movement for Zeb, and it is the back. This will be the final boss for Zeb, so that's gonna put him into wrecked ship. The front will feed out. Where does the front feed out? I've completely screwed up my map, folks. It's late and it's been a long couple days of races. It's going to be a really excellent time from Zeb. Sub-hour for sure. Of course, the charge plasma going to be greatly favoring Zeb here if we see another Ridley. Really hoping not to see that if you're Ace.
Our last boss.
Either Fantoon or Ridley. Another Ridley.
Another Ridley.
Unbelievable. Big ol' smile from Zeb. Kind of not great news for Ace, though, in this situation. Wrecked ship is not a place where you can really farm supers in any reliable manner. So this just sort of really adds insult to injury. Not having that gravity, not getting that plasma. Just kind of a rough situation for Ace here, the way that this worked out. Doesn't happen very often in a seed that you miss Green Bryn and end up doing significantly better than your opponent, but in this case in particular, Zeb really, really benefiting from having missed that Green Bryn portal and going straight to really cashing in on the route through Upper Norfair and Red Tower.
Yeah, that's definitely the fun thing with these area randos. Generally, you want knowledge, but sometimes too much knowledge is too many items got.
There we go, final boss down, final Ridley down. And this is unfortunately a forced save for Ace, and probably gonna get a pretty unhappy reaction from them when they come through this door and see yet another Ridley.
Meanwhile, on Zeb's side, all we have to do is make our way back up Red Bryn Tower thing and make our way through Torium.
Oh, just missing an opportunity to use that double jump once again, bonking out on that platform. But this generally routes pretty nicely now. Gonna go into West Meridia here. Zeb should find his way into Criteria and use that to get across to the top of Red Tower and finally to Turian. Should be pretty quick. Just about a minute or so, I expect. Nice moonfall there from Zeb, taking advantage of all of those. Meanwhile, Ace opting to, I mean, you sort of have to here, unfortunately. The routing is just, it's too bad to leave this behind. Boy, howdy. 30 power bombs. I couldn't tell how many Ace entered with, but if they all double hit, oh boy. Low health too. Nice little morph there from Ace. There's a low ice fight set up here where you can sort of get Ridley into sort of a forced manip where you guarantee double hit power bombs each time. One hit, 200, double hit, that's 400. Really needs all these power bombs to be double hitting. Yeah, this is just kind of painful for Ace, unfortunately. They're struggling through this fight. Just bad placement for this Ridley, unfortunately. Yeah, and there it is. Under 45 minutes entering Turian. Really jetty seed and nicely executed, well routed, and a little bit of luck there for Zeb, just the way that things worked out. That's part of Rando, but nicely handled from Zeb. Especially with that early low energy X-ray, really paying off. It's one of Zeb's favorite plays, is going for that riskier early X-ray on 0 tanks, but in this particular case did have double jump, came to great effect, saved him both a lot of time and potentially some very large issues with deaths and resets.
Right, I think our major divergence points was Ace's death in the very beginning, going to green.
That's right.
Star.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, a little over a minute lost there, probably. And that really forced quite a different route at the start. Now, the way that it converged on the map, it didn't make that big of a difference. It did cost Ace some portal knowledge. But in the end, it was that X-ray, and then, yeah, that's really unfortunate. Oh, man. Not that it's any consolation, Ace obviously not knowing where Zeb is, but sort of too little too late, unfortunately, even if that was like a crate or something. Too commanding of a lead for Zeb. He just needs to execute here and get through these Metroid rooms, this baby skip, and this mother brain fight. Well, in the meantime and in between time, folks, we'll remind you we do have our semifinals. These are 2 pools of 5, top 2 runners from each pool advancing. From one pool, it was Glove and MM2 NES cartridge. From the pool that these 2 runners, Ace and Zeb, are in, the 2 advancing were D-Web and Audra. D-Web finishing first in that pool, going 4-0, the only competitor to do so. Audra finishing second and advancing on 3-1. And the 2 on the other pool, both finishing 3-1, Glove and MM2 NES cartridge. The head-to-head victory there going to Glove? MM2? So MM2 as the tiebreaker in that case. Finishing first in that pool will be facing Audra. Glove will be squaring off against DJ Webb. So folks, stay tuned. We're going to get those semifinal matchups for you tomorrow, likely the final then on Sunday. But keep your eyes on that schedule. We got 3 excellent best of 3 races coming up for you to decide our 2024 in-person SGLIVE Super Metroid Randomizer tournament. And where else would we host that tournament but here in lovely Herndon, Virginia at the beautiful Hilton Dulles. Little speed Zeb skip here for Zeb. Yeah, and you usually just take 1 attempt here with charge plasma. You missed that speed Zeb skip. 2 missiles, 3 supers, you just blow through these Zebs as the developers intended. Pretty comfy health here. 5+1 for Zeb. should not have any issue whatsoever, but does need to still execute, wants to avoid any double hits on that catch-up beam. This is going to be a really blazing fast time here. Low 50-minute time for Zeb incoming. Yeah, 51, 52, something like that. Just have to see how long this fight takes. By the way, Ace doing a very, very nice job in this Ridley fight, settling Ridley into exactly the manip that I had alluded to earlier. This is something that's used for 5 power bombs at the beginning of low ice fights, when you're trying to really increase your DPS, where you actually get a wall jump off this wall, which manipulates Ridley's AI to come down. You get that first flash, you wall jump up, you get that second flash, so that you know that you've done 400 damage instead of 200. Really, really, really nicely executed there from Ace. Was not their day, unfortunately, in this race against Zeb, but showed us a lot of cool stuff and executed some really excellent strats, including demonstrating that manip there. Don't get to see that power bomb manip very often. Surely not for that many power bombs. Yeah, and I think if I could read lips, I think I got an "Are you kidding me?" from Ace. Fortunately, Ridley's still not dead in that red phase, and it feels a little bit painful, like a low % speed fight. You're just finishing off Ridley here with just a charge piece shot, unfortunately. That might be it. Ridley lunging for... Nope, not yet. Oh boy. Come on, let's get this Ridley dead.
Nothing but a charge beam and a dream.
Ace came here with nothing but a charge beam and a dream, and dang it, he's gonna bring this Space Pelican down. Let's go, chat. Let's give him some energy and love. Let's give them some energy and love. Come on, Ace. There it is. Only thing better than that would have been if Zeb was finishing at the same time that Ace finished that Ridley fight, and we got double applause from the audience. And the reward for that incredible marathon Ridley fight is a Spazer beam. Oh my goodness. Don't even pick it up. No Mother Brain. Short charge attempt from Zeb. Very disappointed in him. Just want to state that for the record. Might be just shy of a 52 here. Low 53 more likely. He does quite a bit of lifting here, but unfortunately without high jump, it'll be a little bit slower. Oh boy. First Spazer. Then wave beam. Yeah, you didn't hear it on microphone here, folks, but crowd behind me saying cruel and unusual, and we do feel that way for Ace, unfortunately. They did a nice job getting through that Ridley fight, and the rewards were Spazer and wave. Not what you want to see at this point. Well, this will certainly feel good for Zeb, notching that second win. Not exactly the tournament performance he was hoping for. I'm sure really wanting to make it into that semifinals. Was a finalist the last 2 years. But line up your GGs in chat. A really excellently run race for Zeb. He is finished with a low 53 time. Just a smile. I mean, what can you do if you're Ace? It's, yeah, that's a bit trollish there at the end, and what a way to end it.
Yeah, but at least we got to show off that Ridley ain't nothing compared to a charge beam and a lot of power bombs.
Ain't no party like a Ridley charge party. Courteous bit of sportsmanship between our two runners. You see them all gleaming smiles here, ear to ear. They were not playing for a spot in the semifinals, but they had a good time, it seems like. Zeb coming out the winner, but kind of a funny seed here. But we'll see if we can get these very pleasant folks down onto the commentary booth with us, get a little bit of their feedback on this endless Ridley seed. And here they are, welcoming them into the commentary booth with us. On my left, AceZer, on our right, Zeb, the winner today. Congratulations, Zeb316. Let's get a little mic check from each of you first. Make sure that you're live and with us so the folks at home can hear.
I don't think they're quite there yet.
Test, test.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, and there we go.
Hey,
That's
there we
the
go.
sonorous tone of our winner, Zeb, coming in live on the mic check. Ace, you're coming in strong too, I hope?
Yeah, sounds good.
Excellent. They are with us, folks. Congratulations. This was not playing for a semifinal spot, but you had one more opportunity to race here at SGLIVE in person. Kind of an almost oops all Ridley seat there.
Yep.
A little bit of trollish at the air. It was a charge party there at the end
Yeah.
for you, demonstrating very nicely that that power bomb manip.
Yeah.
I thought that was actually really cool. I made a point to point that out at commentary. You got that really nice power bomb manip there on Ridley and managed to finish that fight off. But I think I lip read at one point. You're like, are you serious? I mean, it must have been ridiculous at the end of that fight, right? How does that feel?
I don't know. Like, I mean, the first time, obviously, I was trying to do it without taking off my high jump and speed booster, but like, I haven't done it that many times with that loadout to like know, and I'm more consistent without. So the second one, I just started over, did the minute, but I don't know. I mean, I went in and I was like, okay, well, I mean, Dragon is bad, but I can do it. I can double spring ball jump out, no big deal. Like, I was like, as long as this isn't Ridley, whatever, I'm fine. But I was like, I saved just in case because my ammo was bad. And then after it was Ridley, I was like, I don't even know, like, what, I mean, I can check, I could go outside the ship, but then if there's no supers, I got to use one to get back in. And it's just like,
well, and kicking the horse while they're down, your reward was Spazer and Wave Beam
Spazer
for that,
Wave
for that
immediately.
marathon Ridley fight, unfortunately. Yeah.
At least the second attempt was at least pretty good, I think.
Yeah.
I felt good about it.
Kind of a rough day at the office, unfortunately. You took that early death at Crabs. It was kind of difficult from start to finish. But
Yeah, I mean, that's actually, like, as dumb as it sounds, like, that's a good learning point. Like, there's still a lot of, so, like, obviously this match didn't mean anything for standing, so I kind of went into it thinking, like, especially seeing, like, how well DJ has done in our group. Like, he's improved so much this last, like, year, 2 years, that, like, I'd really like to fix a lot of my, like, rooms and movement. So, like, I was thinking, like, okay, when do I unmorph to make sure I make it to the ledge? Because sometimes I don't make it there. So I unmorphed earlier than I normally do, and I learned that's where the crab is. So, like, I'm dialing in and focusing on that. So it's like, okay, it's not a total loss. I gained some amount of information from that, and then the portal was fine anyway later. It didn't really hurt me too much.
yeah, the way that it looped back in through criteria actually was kind of A-okay for you. You didn't really get punished for that.
Yeah.
What actually ended up happening, which is kind of interesting, I don't know if y'all talked about this at all, you found Green Bryn by checking the portals at the bottom of Red Tower. Zeb, I thought, kind of went against his own advice, didn't end up checking the portals at the bottom of Red Tower, went straight through tube, did not find Green Bryn. I thought he might get punished for that. You ended up clearing Green Bryn completely. You went into Upper Norfair with those hell runs, and you were able to, between early X-ray spiking gravity and then getting to your Varia earlier, I think you were just sort of in command from jump there, right?
Yeah, so I left those portals because there were 2 portals instead of just one. If there's just one portal there, I can't leave it. I have to go check it. But with 2 portals, you're pretty likely to get spit out into one, and then you can check the other. I kind of am see Business Center, do Business Center generally. So I saw Business Center there. I was like, I'm going to do this. I saw the croc. I probably should have gone into the portals before going back into Upper Norfair after Croc. But I think, so I was thinking I don't want to get a spit out at a boss location and not be able to do a Ridley. So I was thinking, okay, I want to go over to the right side, do Bubble Mountain. Hopefully that'll get me up to enough ammo to be able to kill a Ridley. And then I can like go into whatever portal, and as long as it's not a Lower Norfair portal, I can just go through it and not worry about like finding the front of wreck ship and not being able to kill Ridley. Now, unfortunately, I found Kraid there, and I was like, really? I still didn't have Ridley ammo for that, so I was like, okay, I guess I'll check this, and Varia happened to be there, so the route was like, the route really worked out. The only thing that didn't work out was checking Croc, but at the same time, those tanks from Croc let me do Upper Norfair a lot faster, so.
Yeah, and Ace, you actually ended up deciding to reset all of those Croc items. What was the thinking going into that process? Not worth keeping there? And
yeah, I mean, the thinking there, like, I don't know, it is hard it's hard especially early in the seed for me, like, early-ish in to know, like, okay, what gives me a competitive advantage against my opponent, or what, like, can I not do against somebody like Zeb who's just better movement-wise? Like, we do exactly the same things, I'm going to lose 99 out of 100 times.
yeah, so you're hoping to just reset, get out of dodge, and go into Green Bryn and hit on something.
Yeah, I was thinking like, okay, so I have a couple options. I already sunk the time into Croc, which feels bad. So either Zeb did it too and only got E-tanks, which aren't that helpful, or he didn't do it and then is just getting the good stuff. So I was like, if I reset, I don't have to do that backtracking. I can say, okay, if he does this and does Bubble Mountain, just gets a bunch of tanks, and I just go back to Green Bryn, forget about these tanks. I don't need them. I'll find Varia. That's probably a better chance for me to win the race.
I think that's the right gamble in that situation,
but
yeah.
It didn't feel good, but you know, you got to work with it and just keep doing what you think is the best call, and I think that was just
Didn't work out for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was also kind of trying to be a little more thorough after getting that early grab. Like the early grab at X-Ray, that's not something that I expect Ace to do, especially on 0 tanks. That's just like, because I don't think there was a tank, because I went through Gauntlet too before going back into Red Tower, and there wasn't even a tank at Gauntlet, so there was just no opportunity to get a tank there. So.
No, but yeah, the double jump just about, the double jump just about as good as the tank there. I mean, not only throughout the entire siege you used it excellently, but specifically with that early X-ray, I think the folks watching were really able to see the power of that. You didn't need to wait around for the waivers on the way back. It was the equivalent of having a tank in terms of the speed at which you were able to escape that gravity out of X-ray.
But where was the double jump?
Gauntlet.
It was at Gauntlet.
Gauntlet, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And you ended up finding high jump, but I think the double jump did quite a lot to make up for some of the movement disadvantage that Zeb didn't have from not finding that high jump.
Yeah,
high jump was so late anyway. Like I'd already played for I didn't have a timer, but it felt like 30, 45 minutes before I got high jump. So it's like.
So did you find a super then at like Old Mother Brain or 230?
Old Mother Brain was super.
Okay, so yeah, I didn't have a super then, so I checked the back of Gauntlet, and I saw a super there, and then I found the screw attack immediately, and I was like, okay, now I'm not going to check 230. I'm just going to go straight through Gauntlet to get my first super.
Makes sense.
And the map worked out nicely for you that you were able to route back down through the left side criteria portals and just sort of continue down Red Tower. Yeah. Well, I think that about wraps it up. That's last of the pool play. Coming up, we've got 2 semifinals tomorrow. MM2 Nest Cartridge versus Audra, if I'm correct, and DJ versus Glove. Do I have that right, folks? I've been corrected all night by the folks behind me. They've been excellent, and they continue to do so. I will say go back. Don't listen to commentary. It wasn't that good. But go back if you want to see a clinic in using double jump, one of the new awesome items that we have from our Dash Dev team. The clinic in using double jump from Zeb there, our winner today. So really excellently done. It was a fun race. It was actually kind of, as painful as it was, Ace, it was kind of neat to watch you take out that Ridley there at the end, and you got a hearty congratulations from the audience. I'm not sure if you could hear it or not, but we were all celebrating with you when you took out that final nasty space pelican. So thank you so much for the race. It was a lot of fun. We'd like to thank Jestro with our tracking, all the folks working hard behind the scenes here at SG Live to bring you this excellent speed gaming action. Speed Gaming 1 through 4 all weekend long. We have the sort of exciting part of our tournaments coming up, the semifinals, the finals, all of the good stuff. So we had Anod on commentary here with me. Thank you so much for joining, and thanks for everyone in chat. Probably not going to go back and watch the nice things that you had to say, but that's quite all right. So from everyone here and And from everyone within the building, we're very grateful, and we will see you next mission.